All right, let's just jump right in. I want you to picture this for a second. You're driving, music's on, everything's fine, and then, out of nowhere, something's in your lane. A deer, a piece of furniture, another car, and in that instant, your entire world just shrinks down to one single choice. And that's the big question, isn't it? Swerve or brake. That one gut reaction is exactly what we're going to break down, because what feels like the smart, life-saving move might actually be the most dangerous thing you could possibly do. I mean, the stakes here are just incredibly high. We're talking about a moment that doesn't just affect you, it can have these devastating, life-altering consequences for everybody else on the road with you. So really understanding what's going on in that moment is, well, it's absolutely crucial. So let's get into the heart of the problem. A panicked swerve isn't this clean, isolated event where you save the day. More often than not, it's like tipping over the first domino in a very, very dangerous chain reaction that can spiral out of control fast. And you might be asking, how bad can it really get? Well, think about this number, 4. Just one driver making one bad, panicked decision to swerve can easily pull 3 other completely innocent people into that mess, turning one close call into a 4-car pileup, all from that one choice. So what happens in those first few seconds? Well, first off, there's a huge risk you just completely lose control of your car. Your instinct is to yank the wheel, right? But that leads to overcorrecting. You try to fix it, you jerk the wheel back too hard, and suddenly you're in a spin. And for bigger vehicles like SUVs or trucks, a spin can easily turn into a rollover. And of course, there's the risk you cause a whole new crash by swerving right into another lane, or worse, into oncoming traffic. All right, so that's the what. We know what happens when someone swerves, but it's just as important to understand the why. What's really going on that puts drivers in these impossible, last-ditch situations in the first place? You know, it's so easy to blame something else, right? A pothole, a tire blowout. But the data, well, the data tells a very different story. The vast majority of the time, we're talking a full 60% of these incidents, the problem is sitting right there in the driver's seat. And the number one cause? Simple, plain old inattention. Now, don't get me wrong. Other things definitely play a part. You've got vehicle problems, bad brakes, worn out tires. And sure, road conditions matter. Ice, heavy rain, you name it. But when you stack all of that up against human error, it's not even a fair fight. Okay, enough doom and gloom. We get it. It's a huge problem. So what's the solution? How do you actually get through a moment like that safely, whether you're the one sliding or you're just watching it happen right in front of you? Okay, if your car starts to skid, there's a 4-step playbook. And step 1 is the hardest, but it's the most important. Do not panic. Panic is what makes you overcorrect. Second, take your foot smoothly off the gas. Don't slam the brakes. Third, and this is the weird one, you gently steer into the skid. And fourth, this is so huge. Look where you want the car to end up. Your hands will instinctively follow your eyes. Yeah, that whole steer into the skid idea, it's called counter-steering, and I know, it feels completely backward. Your brain is screaming at you to turn the other way, but you gotta fight that instinct. If the back of your car is fishtailing to the right, you gently turn the wheel to the right. It's just physics, and the keyword there is gently. We are not talking about yanking the wheel here. But let's flip the script. What if it's not you? What if you see another car driving all over the road? Your job is simple. Protect yourself. That's it. Back off, create a massive safety bubble around your car. Whatever you do, do not try to be a hero and pass them. And yeah, if you really think the driver's impaired or sick, pull over when it's safe and call for help. Your job is to be a good witness, not a vigilante. All this talk about how to react in a crisis brings us to a much bigger, more important point. The real win isn't being great at handling a skid. The real win is avoiding the skid altogether. The safest possible move you can make on the road is the one you never have to make. So let's circle all the way back to that first question, swerve or brake. When you laid it all out like this, the choice becomes pretty clear, right? Swerving is a total roll of the dice. You risk losing control, causing a pileup. It's a massive gamble. Braking, though, that's almost always your safest bet. With modern anti-lock brakes, you can often stomp on the pedal and still steer. You stay in control. So how do we stay out of that split-second decision in the first place? Well, it really just boils down to 2 key things. First, take care of your car. Seriously, good tires with plenty of tread and brakes that actually work aren't luxuries. Second, it's your driving habits. Being alert, ditching the distractions, and keeping a safe following distance, all of that buys you the most valuable thing in an emergency: time. And that is really the main takeaway here. Look, your car can have all the latest tech, lane assist, automatic braking, the whole 9 yards. But we already saw that the number one cause of these incidents is driver inattention. That means the single most advanced, most effective safety feature in any vehicle is you, with your eyes on the road and your head in the game. So I'll leave you with this thought. After everything we've just talked about, what's one small, conscious habit you could change starting today to make yourself a safer driver? Is it checking your tire pressure for real this weekend? Is it making a rule to put your phone in the glove box? Just think about it. What's one thing you'll do?
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.